guys, JB here from Alpha Wolf Consulting, coming to you today with another episode of Stoned As Adventures. I'm just driving out to the Blacktop Tablelands and going to do some hiking and filming around there, which will be really, really cool. I think it's really beautiful out there, and like I'm pretty excited to get back out there. I haven't been out there for, I'd say, like a good 6 months or so since I've been out there, and it's a beautiful stretch of like tablelands and mountains that is just so beautiful. So I hope I can get you some good shots, which will be pretty exciting. And yeah, so pretty much like when I'm walking, when I'm driving, I have some pretty wild conversations. So I love to just think about and talk about different things, and I get really inspired by the landscape around me, just especially when I'm coming out into the country. Like, it's just so absolutely beautiful out here, all this farmland and bushland. So like, yeah, it really inspires me and sort of helps me personally to get back in that awe of life, where you're like inspired and grateful about every little aspect of life. And that's sort of what I see when I like to go out on these trips or these adventures, hiking and stuff like that, and camping, is like, it's sort of a spiritual pilgrimage for me. So like, it's about getting rid of all the stuff or the thoughts that I've been accumulating in society, you know, and all the negative influence I've taken in. And it's sort of about just washing that away and getting back out into like a quiet space in my mind, where I'm not worried about all the different things that could be happening or that may be happening, or, you know, worried about what other people think of me. So it really helps me to ground myself when I'm getting out into nature and out into the country. It's just something about being somewhere you're not, like, you don't know. Like, you couldn't point on a map exactly where you are. You know, it's sort of like your worries can't find you if you don't know where you are. That's how I like to think about it. But no, it's just something about when you're out in, like how I like to put it is, when you're out in like the wilderness or somewhere like unknown terrain, you sort of get to discover and sort of unshackle who you thought you were. So a fun thing is I always find that my thinking changes and becomes more liberated when I'm somewhere unknown. So like, you know, you always want to know exactly where you are so that you can get yourself out of any situations, but, you know, generally speaking, you know, you don't have to be concerned with where you are right now. You just can be. And that's one of the things that I personally seek to like embody in life, is just being present in the moment, in any moment. Like being like present where I am. So while I'm driving, I'm present in the drive. I'm not concerned with where I'm going. Where I'm going is just a feeling. So like I'm thinking and focusing on all the different, you know, hazards and, you know, the scenery around me, and sort of it's a liberating feeling that I struggle to find when I'm like in like routine, in a 9 to 5, like caught up in life. sensory organs in our body are built to experience, which leads me to believe that experience is the number one, not meaning, but aspect of life. Our whole life revolves around experience. So like, as I like to say, I like to just be in flow, doing, without thought. So, you know, like I just got an idea today that, you know, I needed to get some camera equipment, and then I said to myself, if I get that camera equipment, I'll come out and do some filming, which is pretty good, because I really enjoy it, because like essentially what I try to capture is that state of flow. And the funny thing is the more I've learned about spirituality and personal development and consciousness and the human mind and life and the universe, is that state of flow is that state of random. So one really funny thing that I always think of within myself is like the place I seek to be is that random flow of action. And like the funny thing is that that's the ground basis for life, is randomness. So when we're in the flow of life, we're in that flow of randomness, where we're just taking actions that feel right, that make us smile. Like every time I drive in a direction that I don't know, like I can't help but to smile, because it's sort of like life's beginning. Like when we try to structure, especially within me, when I try to structure my life and what I do and all of this, like so like rigidly, like I cease to live, I cease to be inspired, you know. And that's personally every day, that's what I seek to feel is inspired. So I'm always chasing, you know, inspiration. And the funny thing is the inspiration is in the smallest things in life. So it's not like the big things that make you inspired, but it's all these little things, like how green the grass is, like how sweet the air smells, you know, like how vibrant the flowers are on the trees. Like, you know, it's sometimes hard in summer, because in Queensland it is an oppressive summer, so you gotta, like, you know, sort of find the other edge of the blade. So you gotta be happy about the environment that you're in. And that's one thing that I really try and do, is find inspiration in my environment. So I always seek to change my environment and go new places. Like the idea of being somewhere for a long period of time just makes me feel trapped. Like there's so much to experience in life and so much happening in life, yet I'm stuck here just experiencing what I already know. And it's sort of like, when I think like that, it just lights a fire under me, because, like, you know, when you're laying, like, this is how I look at it, when I'm laying on my deathbed, nothing will matter but the experiences I've felt, because they're the only things that are going to play through my mind. So my goal in life is to have the most rich, like, experiential life at my end of life that I get to live again. But the other thing I realized is, and this is really funny, so when we think about time and the passage of time, when we're having fun, time flies, and when we're miserable, time extends. And the reason for this is because when we're miserable, we're looking to escape what we're doing, so we're more conscious of the passage of time. Okay, just like when we're like excited and happy and joyful about what we're doing, we're so engorged and focused in on that activity that we cease to notice the passage of time. So what I realized is, if you want to have a long, happy life, in the context of you want to feel like your life has been an eternity, right, without any additional time, like passage of time, okay, what you have to do is you have to make conscious actions to pull yourself into the present moment and experience the passage of time. And what that does is that sort of recenters you to, understanding that, there was a morning, a midday, and a night. Because we're not just remembering for the day something that happened in the morning and then all the rest is forgotten. So, that's one of the things that really excites me about just being in the ebb and flow of the actions of life, where you're drawn and pulled to, is like when I'm present in that moment, like I feel the passage of time in a positive sense, that I'm finally living how I want to live, doing what I want to do. And it's so funny because for my entire life I was led to believe that like you always had to be productive with your time, you always had to be working, like I left school at the end of year 9 and went straight into full-time employment and just worked. So while my peers were at school, like I spent a good 3 or 4 years working, building skills and sort of progressing my career while they were in school. So like it's really funny because like I just had this belief that I always had to be better than other people and compete with other people to feel secure. I had to be better than other people so that I was more valuable in the work sense, which wasn't a bad thing because it taught me a lot of discipline and a lot of like how to build drive and stuff like that. I succeeded a lot, but the problem is that I wasn't aware when I was younger. Not many people were aware, in the early 2000s about like psychology and how all of that, and beliefs, and how all of that impacts us in the future. So like, I've come to this point in my life where like I will always choose to exert maximum effort towards my goals, but I get to choose what maximum means. So like, I don't really care what other people think is a good effort. Like, I'll tell myself what a good effort is, and it's taken me so long to do that. And the problem is for me personally, it was really difficult because I was always trying to live up to other people's expectations, even if they hadn't put expectations on me, which meant I was always miserable, because even if I live up to their expectations, what they want isn't what I want. So like, for example, in life, like I don't really care about money. Like, yeah, I think of money like water. If you're not thirsty and you're fully hydrated and you've got 10 liters of water is meaningless to you. If you're dehydrated and you haven't had any water in days, it's everything to you. So like, the key thing is that money's one of those things that it's a resource in life. So it's like, it's how we barter and trade for things and how we purchase things. But you should have no emotional attachment to money. Like, why do I want to care about making money? Shouldn't I just care about doing what I enjoy doing and doing what I love? Like, why do I have to put a financial metric to it to feel successful and valuable? So like, and that's one thing I struggle with, because for me, especially in my own business, when I try and financially incentivize myself, I shut down, because I do things because because they're fun. I only do things that I enjoy. So the thing is I only want to do things in life that I perceive as being fun, for the point of I think that it's fun. Even in business. So the thing is, what I have to teach myself and understand and restructure my business around is doing the work for enjoyment, not financials. And for me personally, in my career in life, I don't want to work for money. I don't really care. I can generate money and I will generate money, but my motivation for working is because I enjoy helping people that I like. So the thing is that and I've been really, really tossing it up. If I had reached the pinnacle of my success, how would I treat the situation? How would I treat others? So if I had reached every achievement that I could imagine in my mind, do you really think, and this is what I ask myself, do you really think you would be charging people for your knowledge and help? And my answer is no. If I reached the pinnacle of my success, I would not have to charge people for my time or services. I would do it because I enjoy it and because it's something that I want to invest into. So for me, at the start of my sort of business's career, or my business's life cycle, I am choosing to take this decision to where, you can generate money, but in my business, the motivation that drives my business, and I've written on this and I have a thesis on this, and it's called A Business for Change, but it's just about having your fundamental reason and motivation for why you're in that business, or why you're, in that industry, as being something that isn't derived of income, or personal advantage. I get the best feeling when I can help someone solve their problems. I truly enjoy it. And many times throughout my career in sales, I have burnt bridges when people have told me to go against this, and I smile about it and I just say, look, if you want me to go against my fundamental core beliefs every day of the week, I'm going to tell you to go fuck yourself. I have zero problem, because who I am, and this is an important thing to me personally, but I'm very honor driven. I have a saying, honor before death. I choose death before going against my honor. You know what I mean? So before I go against and break those ideals or those values that I uphold. Like I would choose death every day of the week. So if someone tries to, coerce me, which many employers do, especially, really bad employers, especially in sales, like, one piece of information that I can give you to sort of sum it up is when I worked in RTO sales, which is registered training organisations. This was a full scam organisation, and I was very early in my sales career, but basically when you get the question when you're selling education, how retarded is too retarded to sign someone up for a course? In that meeting, in that moment, I walked out and decided that was not the place for me. When we're having to decide, like, how capable is the minimum standard, like, can we lower it, the minimum standard, so we can just get more sales? Like, seriously. So, like, that's the thought process and the mentality of, like, many businesses, is like, how